Welcome back to this week's episode of the Drivetime podcast. I'm joined in our gear change episode again by Rachael Prasher of Haymarket, who's going to be talking about training for the London Marathon and the Great Coastal Road in America. So stay tuned for this gear change. Welcome back, Rachael Prasher, to the gear change episode of the Drivetime podcast.
Thank you for having me.
In the first episode, we talked a lot about, we covered what car of the year. We also talked about tech that the journalists get excited about or what you're writing about and how consumers are navigating so much choice. Thinking about what you're covering and what technology the editorial teams are getting excited about, what are you seeing?
Goodness, a lot. It depends on the editorial brand. So for What Car, they are looking for tech development that makes sense to consumers.
Yeah.
So they're much less bothered by gimmick. They want stuff that works for that car. And, as we said, with the weighting of testing, that depends on what you're buying. If you're buying a sports car or a, city car, those are going to be very different requirements.
Yeah.
Certainly, I think for the more family end of the of car buyers, we are excited by some of the even longer range EV battery technology that's coming through.
Yeah.
And for those perhaps more reluctant buyers with the typical, the classic line of, what if visiting my granny in Scotland? It was astonishing how many grannies must live in Scotland. But, it kind of answers some of these cars that are going to be coming through are going to answer that concern. I think they're as excited by the infrastructure improving as they are the cars themselves, because, again, that's one of the big barriers to new EV powertrains is how you're charging, where you're charging, and so on. For the Autocar team, very different. These are car adorers, not the What Car team aren't as well, because they absolutely love their cars, but they're looking for very different things. Right. They're looking for game-changing products in a slightly different way. So it's not that the products aren't still thought about from the eyes of a consumer, just that consumer is going to love cars in a different way.
So actually, it's a really good point, I think, to differentiate What Car audience from Autocar audience. How would you differentiate the two? What Car, I'm assuming, consumers coming into market looking for the next thing, reading reviews. Autocar, petrol heads. Would that be about right? Or have I...
At its simplest, yes, but also no, because online, those audiences play out very differently. So yes, What Car is absolutely car buyers, although you'd be astonished by the number of car enthusiasts that are also engaging with What Car, particularly subscribing to the magazine. And that's because car fans just want to keep consuming, don't they? But yeah, the overwhelming majority of What Car's online audience and magazine audiences in-market car buyers. That's why, with 35% of What Car's online audience is female, which is, very high for a car brand. Autocar, in its truest sense, as in the original print product, absolutely, that's car enthusiasts. And obviously we see that online as well. But Autocar performs really, really well in search. And so we also pull through a lot of car buyers, just regular car buyers who are looking for information. But the difference between their reviews kind of speaks to the level of knowledge that audience is likely to have. So in What Car, we try and make sure that we don't make assumptions. Autocar, you're going to have assumptions around a base level of knowledge and interest and the things that are likely to be more important. So, when you read a review side by side, and sometimes those reviews can have very different outcomes, which is something I had to wrap my head around when I first came back into automotive. It's clear that they are speaking to different audiences.
Yeah. So thinking about, we're a tech podcast and we try and lean into technology because I think that's the bit where we see real innovation. Cars still have 4 wheels and a steering wheel, but actually there's so much more tech inside the vehicle now. Is there any myths around the technology in vehicles that we could think about, or we try and do some myth busting, but what is the biggest myth in technology or in the vehicle that you, could shine a light on?
Crikey. I don't know if it's a myth as much. It's died down a bit because lots of other things are capturing the conversation at the moment. But obviously there was so much hysteria around autonomy and this idea of self-driving cars, which may still come to fruition. Who knows? I'm definitely not going to try and predict the future on that one. But this idea of autonomy has been with us for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
A parking sensor is one. So there's a huge amount of autonomy, for better or worse, in cars today. And I guess, whether you love that or hate that is a matter of personal opinion. For some people, being able to almost hands off, perfect. For others, that's the road to hell. So I don't think that you can have a single view on technology. I mean, for what car, again, it's always going to come back to, does this make sense and is it helpful? And actually, to the end user,
the investment of that, is it worth it? Is it worth you're paying for that thing to have that, whatever it is, technology that they've got on it?
Yeah.
So.
And invariably, the more things you put in, what have you had to take out? You can't just keep adding stuff into a vehicle, be that technology or design or anything else. So there's always a trade-off somewhere. And for the Autocar team, again, does this make sense to the car? What were you trying to achieve? And have you achieved that goal with this development?
Have they had to adapt the testing standards as technology has changed? You talk about autonomous driving. I suppose when you were testing a car 10, 15 years ago, autonomous driving has really now led to a lot more safety features. So automatic braking, all of that. I think there's so much more safety on the vehicle as a result of autonomous driving. Do the standards stay the same, or do you have to adapt?
They stay the same at their core. For what cars I've said, you'll change the weighting a little bit. So, we might not have been as preoccupied with the car's interface as we were 15 years ago. But clearly ease of use of that, because of course one of the things that manufacturers have been doing over the last couple of years is getting rid of the knobs.
Yeah. You plug your phone in and all your infotainment synchronizes. So it's so much better. You haven't got to have a sat nav. You just everything is on your Google.
And sometimes that's been brilliant. Sometimes it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dangerous because, there are many examples. I won't call out anyone in particular, but it has kind of been design over outcome sometimes. So in that sense, the testing has changed. But no, it's at its heart, it's fundamentally has remained the same. Okay,
that's really good. Especially you got consistency in that, but you do wonder that how much more. We did actually have when AWS were on the pod. They were talking about robo-taxis and were saying, wouldn't it be great if rather than having to drive your car to the service, the thing drives itself? It can do that now. So it needs to be repaired. The thing sends a message to it. So, it can talk to itself and off it goes. So you just think we are, in some markets, that's where we are, but not in every market. The environment isn't ready for self-driving cars. There are certain roads that just won't take them. So, but it does obviously improve safety. So thinking about then a tech tool that you can't live without, is there anything that you absolutely rely on in terms of technology in your day-to-day life?
Increasingly, I am very dependent on Gemini for massively improving my email writing and documents generally. So I love the fact that I can rough write now and Gemini can step in and help me. So that's one bit. I love social media. I mean, too much probably. I'm a big, massive fan of Instagram. Although I'd probably save a fortune if I didn't have it. So I don't know if that counts as technology, but certainly that is one technological development that I'm very happy to have in my life.
Are you a secret doom scroller?
I'm not too bad. But obviously the algorithms are very, very invasive. And at the moment, I'm training for the London Marathon. So pretty much every single ad that I have is running related. So I feel overwhelmed with information.
Oh God, well done you. What inspired you? I haven't done it yet. Why would you? So
I just, as usual with pretty much everything in my life, it just got a little bit carried away. Before I knew it,
Europe, Kilimanjaro, which you've done.
Well, yeah, exactly. Before I knew it, I was signed up and having to do it for charity, which meant I had to run it. Whereas originally I thought, I just walk the London Marathon, that'd be fine. But now I'm not going to be able to raise the money unless I actually put the effort in. So yeah, that's where I find myself.
Good luck. We're walking a marathon in January with the Lilies, which is a group of women in leasing, and we're doing a fundraiser for a youth choir in Dartmouth, I think.
Okay.
So we're doing that, but it's a walking, which means we'll just talk most of the way around probably, but it's a 26 miler.
And it's tough. People think the walking is much easier than running. Okay, it's different. It's not aerobically as challenging, but the miles are the miles.
It's hours and hours and hours. And the next day your legs really hurt. So I don't know how she did it for 5 days. I'm super impressed. But okay, so thinking of not running, but driving, your dream road trip. We ask every guest on the podcast what's their dream road trip or what's their favourite destination they've driven to.
So I think my dream road trip, which was cancelled thanks to COVID, would be the Ocean Road in California. I would just love to do that. Ever since I watched Big Little Lies and that fabulous opening sequence set in, Carmel, Monterey, around there. I know it's a cliche because probably, lots of people say it. But firstly, I do not want to do any hair-raising roads, so I'm not going to say the things that others might. I don't want any hairpin bends.
We haven't actually had that many crazy scary roads. I know, a favourite for Evo magazine where I used to do it was the B660 because it was it was a left, right, left, right, left, right, and you got some great cornering shots and it was nice and flat.
Yeah.
But most of the podcast guests have been beautiful roads so far, not road testing roads. So it's been about where you're going.
Beauty.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I've always wanted to do that big drive up the coast, and it unfortunately was cancelled during COVID. But
you need to uncancel it.
I need to uncancel it. Yeah, absolutely.
And then while you're driving on that coastal road, because we have a playlist again on this podcast, we're building a Drivetime podcast playlist, which is also available on Spotify and Apple, but I need to do the Apple one. What would you be listening to? Do you have a thing that you sing or you listen to or you play loud?
I love music, so I have a lot of playlists in Spotify. For all kinds of different things. What I'm listening to at the moment, which is the massive earworm in my head, is the new Lily Allen. God, I couldn't say that then. Lily Allen album, which I think is one of the best revenge albums of all time. It makes Taylor Swift look like she's pulling her punches. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It is an incredible piece of work. So at the moment in fact, I listened to it twice on the way up to Coventry for Drives to Change last week and twice on the way back. So much is great.
I've not heard of this album. I have not. I'm a bit out of touch with Lily Allen. So I used to listen to her before. So is there a song that you kind of go, this is my favourite, this is the track of the album? Tennis. Okay. So Tennis by Lily Allen is going on the playlist.
Oh my God. I mean, it's not for the faint-hearted. This is about a very brutal, toxic divorce. But anyway, so listen to it before you put it willy-nilly on the playlist.
Well, yeah, if it's on the playlist. We've got The Emperor Strikes Back, sort of like what Star Wars theme. We've got all sorts of stuff on there. So yeah, it's really fun. But yeah, I'll have a listen. So again, Rachael Prasher, thank you so much for that Game Change episode. It was brilliant. And I can't wait to see you in the marathon. Well, hopefully. Well, good luck for the marathon.
Thank you.
And good luck with the training. Are you in training already?
I am in training already. I mean, I'm not a runner, so I'm not someone who can now leave it till January to start up. So no, I'm deep into training, which is already taking quite a lot of time, and I haven't even got to the, 30K training sessions yet.
Is it outside or treadmill? How do you?
No, outside.
Outside. You've got to get used to the road, haven't you, really? So
Exactly.
Well, good luck. I've done the couch to 5K, but no more. That's it. I do bodyweight exercises, but I'm not running. I used to run years ago when I was at school, but I'm just too lanky. My legs, I run like Phoebe from Friends. When I run, it's a bit of a standing joke in my family. If I run after anything, I look like my legs don't work.
Well, at least you've got long legs. Mine are very short. So I feel like I'm having to double the distance.
Oh, God. Well, listen, well done and good luck with that. And thank you again for staying on the podcast with me for this Game Change episode. Rachael Prasher from Haymarket. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So thanks again to Rachael Prasher for that amazing gear change episode of the Drivetime podcast. Don't forget, if you're watching us on YouTube, to give us a like and a follow, and you'll never miss an episode of the Drivetime podcast.